Alright, going live in 10, 9, 8. Hey world, it's Tobo. It's May 14th, 2013, and welcome to the party. Now, I'm doing something different this time around. Rather than casting, I'm actually going to try to do an analysis. I've got a couple of matches of Cleetose, one against Virfo from the 12th, one against Drawn Onward from this morning, I think, actually. And the water. Well, I remember what I was going to say. Alright, so doing an analysis. Got 7 games here. Hopefully that's enough. I've never done this before, so I don't really know. I can't really analyze balcony because I can't balcony. So, not going to do that. Almost all of these on Courtyard are on Courtyard 2. All of them except the first game, but I really like that first game, so I'm going to try to analyze it anyways. It's a cool game. But without further ado, let's get started. So, here we start on Ballroom. Any 4 of 5. Cleetose as Spy, as he will be in all of these games. Here we go. Now, first things first. What's near us? Well, selection target looks like it's hitting the statues. Ambassador looks like it's coming our way. Not much is going on, but it's kind of hard to tell so early on. So let's have another look here. And the Ambassador, right here, he settles. Just as Cleetose clicks in, he's got a chance to go for the bug. Totally does. So that's a really nice bug. Now, having gotten that done early, that's one of the 2 hard tell missions. He can take his time, goes to the statues, and he's got fairly good crowd cover here, but this swap is dangerous. I don't particularly like the swap. In his favor, well, to be honest, I'm a little squeamish about swaps in general. I've had terrible luck with them. They don't seem to work for me. So whenever I see someone do it, I freak out. But in this swap's favor, if you look at it, A, he's got good cover. B, we're 25 seconds in, which is right when you don't expect the swap to happen. You expect them to happen right off the bat or a little bit later on. This is not where you expect to see a swap. And again, he's got fairly good crowd cover, so this is probably actually a fairly good swap. It still scares me though, so there's that. Now here's what I don't like. He does one inspect and then puts the statue down. That's weird to me. I would have either hang around and get all 3 because you're in the middle, or put it down quickly and only go for the 1. Then again, we are on Ballroom, you can see it, so he probably just wanted to leave after 1 cycle. Which does give him the time to get the inspected, and that's fine. Now, one thing you have to remember about Spy Party is that in all points of time, no matter what's happening on the clock, what's happening on the field, no matter what's going on, you always have 3 options. You can either go to a mission, you can go do something inconspicuous, and here's the important one, or you can wait. Waiting doesn't happen a lot. Now, that's important. Quite often, waiting is the right choice, because if you're moving around a lot, you're really easy to notice. So, Cleetose going the inconspicuous route. Here he heads over with a rather unfortunate collision with the Ambassador, but he did play it off pretty nicely. Now here goes to the statues again to finish up his inspects. Not a bad idea to get that done quickly, so it's not a whole lot It's not particularly suspicious that way. It's very suspicious going to statues right near the end. Now here. Okay. Look at this. We've got 2 minutes left. And we're going to either banana bread or get our seduces done. Now, we're probably fairly suspicious. It is safe to assume this because we swapped the statue. Whenever you swap a statue, it is safe to assume you're fairly suspicious. We also got a beautiful bug-in that I don't think Viri saw at all. So that was awesome, which leaves us with 2 fairly easy missions. But I'm a little leery of banana breading in this situation. Just because, again, we're probably fairly suspicious, and going into a conversation with the DA and banana breading will quite likely induce a shot. That's something, like, even the chance of that is something you want to avoid at all costs. Well, not at all costs, but you know what I mean. So, I'd say, in this situation, go to the seduction target, see what you can do. And Cleetose, I think that's what he does? Yeah, okay, it is. I don't know why he went to this position. I probably would have went next to White Danger. I would have gotten a better flirt. But the conversation wasn't in a particularly good spot for it. So, I like the drink. I'm not fond of the positioning. It's a green test, but still not a particularly good flirt. Now, here's another interesting moment. The seduction has been there for a moment already. We've seen him go through one cycle. Here's going to start reading his book. It's very risky to actually go for a flirt here because he is alone in a conversation. He's probably going to move pretty quickly. Cleetose does it anyways, and the seduction target leaves on him. So, what we don't want to do is wind up exactly where he was, because that doesn't look particularly awesome. I'm pretty sure Viri actually pays attention to flirts as well, so you don't want to make it too obvious that you're flirting with this guy. So we head to the nearest location that's not that circle, without changing path, which is the windows. That's very nice. I saw that little abort and I got happy. It was very nicely played. Now we've got a minute left and probably 3 flirts. At least 2. If we green test one of them, it'll be 2 flirts. So I guess give it a 50-50 chance, I suppose. We've got a minute left. It's not looking good. So he can really, his options are to either go for the flirts, see what he can do, or go for the banana bread. If you look, it's a fairly decent position for the banana bread. Right now we've got, what, 4 people out of convo? By the time he gets there, probably less. That's what he's going to go for. I'm a little bit nervous about this because, again, we're pretty sure we're on the high suspicion list right now. So, the banana bread is scary. Here it goes. Okay, right there is where I would abort the banana bread idea. Here's where I would start going for the flirts. Doesn't happen. He goes for the banana bread. It's the white test. Watch the laser. Watch the laser.
Running, 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 running. Right.
Yes! Oh, that's so awesome. Oh, man. I love that so much. He nearly got shot there. He very nearly died, but did manage to dance his way out of it. That's amazing. So, That's the first game that I really did want to avoid the banana bread there. And once the seduction target decided to get friendly, honestly, I'm pretty damn sure that the seduction is a better idea than the banana bread, but hey, it worked. It was scary, but it worked, so I'm not going to complain. Let me find the next game here. I think it's around there. This one's on Veranda. I forgot I had a game on Veranda, but I remember this being pretty interesting. So, here we go. Game on Veranda. Once again, what is nearby? Not a whole lot. But, if you look at the path he takes here, right there, really good spot for a bug. He didn't go for it, which makes me a little bit sad, but considering how the laser was swinging around, he could have gotten away with it, no problems at all. But there's something I missed that I want to go back and mention. You see this, where he goes for the flirt here. Now that the flirt's gone off, the two most suspicious places to go are to the green bookshelf here and this far statue. That is where people... That is where the humans go after they can't get to the statue. And that's where Cleetose decides to go to pick up this other statue. It's a bit of a scary one, but he does go for it, and that's fine. Now, if memory serves, right after this, he goes to another statue. And that's alright. Because... No, never mind. He went to this conversation first, which is way better than what I thought he was going to do. So, going to another statue here isn't so bad. Going to two statues fairly close together is not grounds for a shot. And I'm pausing here for a reason. I just want to talk about this. Going to two statues fairly quickly is not grounds for a shot. Not even really grounds for suspicion. Because humans tend to shy away from that kind of stuff. Because it feels suspicious. Even though it's really not when it all comes down to it. So he does that, and that's fine. But then he does this. Okay. Swapping front statues on Veranda can actually be a good idea. But if you don't green test it, you're effed. Straight up. If you don't green test a swap on Veranda, you're probably just gonna get shot immediately. It's so exposed. There's no way he's not gonna see it. If you green test it, these front statues are the last place you're going to expect to see a swap. You're always going to be looking for them in the back corners, never in the front. So green testing a swap can work quite well. White testing it will get you shot. It's dangerous, but it can pay off. He's making fairly good time here. And one thing that Cleetose does that a lot of people don't is he will work with the briefcase. A little bit unfortunate there because the ambassador was at statue, but not a huge deal. Now this is nice. The laser's on the other side, so it goes for the swap. When it goes to put the book back, sees the laser still isn't there, so it goes for the bug. Very opportunistic, very nice, works out beautifully. So he's got 2 minutes left and 2 missions to do. He's got 2 inspects done. He's got 1 seduce done. Here he goes in for this last inspect, which is fairly good timing for it. That's probably... If there's ever a time to go for that last statue, it's probably around now. Maybe 15 seconds later, but you can't always get things perfect in Spy Party. So we've got 1:30 left and a mission to do. Either banana bread or seduce. Since this double agent's not being particularly friendly at the moment, go for the seduction. Fairly reasonable. Everything's good. Nice green test. And there was something coming up. Ah, yes. Here we go. Look at this. Red dress sits at the window, checks her watch. Now we go for a flirt at the window. That's dangerous because of how long she's been there. She's probably going to bail on us, and that's... gives us all the negatives of trying a window flirt with none of the positives. It's just... you gotta be careful with those because your seduction target is prone to leave. And she leaves. Window flirts, you gotta get them fast, or you likely won't get them. Now, you've got 40 seconds. Probably not the best idea to chase like this, but since she's at a bookcase, it's a lot less suspicious. You don't expect to see flirts at bookcases. So we got that off. It was pretty nice. And that's a clean win. As far as veranda goes, that's about as well as you can ask for a game to go. That was very nice. The only really dangerous part of that was the swap. But since you green tested that, all good. Everything went well. Now, he was the only highlight here, but after hearing the endgame talk, apparently he wasn't actually all that suspicious. Which is good. That's a good thing. So, next game is here. No, I'm a minute off. Next game is here. Alright, we're on Courtyard 1 this time around, not Courtyard 2. I'm pretty sure the next 4 games are all on Courtyard 2, but we're on Courtyard 1 right now. That wasn't pretty. If you're going to be the second person at a statue, and you're going to try to pick the thing up, either press the button immediately, or be prepared to leave as soon as the AI picks up the statue and you lose the race. Because that's what AI will do, and if you don't, it'll look suspicious. Luckily, I'm pretty sure he was looking from the other side here, so I don't know why he even did that to begin with. Not a fan of it, but not a huge deal. He goes to another statue here. Goes for the swap right off the bat, which, again, is a little surprising to me. But went for the green swap and the inspect, which makes enough sense considering the laser was staring at him when he went for the swap. But then that happens. And suddenly my analysis about the swap isn't particularly important because... okay. There are 2 things that are rather unfortunate about that bug. The first was the position of the laser. If you look at this, as he's coming in for the bug, the laser is hanging around looking at the ambassador, goes for the bug, laser's right there. This is not a position I forgot to overlay, 'cause I'm a dumb. So, if you look at this, Hope you haven't been doing that too much. I think that was the first time. Anyways, look at the position of the laser here. He's staring... Okay. You're gonna have to take my word for it. But for the past, like, 5 to 8 seconds, I'd say, the laser was just swinging around that outside looking at the ambassador. And now, we're gonna go in and go for a bug at what may be the worst possible angle for that laser to be at. And then, we stopped at that pad with our arm still out and spun with the arm out. That's going to make it very suspicious looking from almost any angle. Thus we take a bullet. Not the greatest bug in the world. So that is all for that set, I believe. Those were versus Viri. This next set is versus Drawn Onward. These are all in Courtyard 2 as far as I can remember. So let's get started on this. Once again, it's Cleetose as the spy here. What's nearby? Not a whole lot.
So Zero, are you down to play 15 games after I play?
Cleetose is... Okay, I'm just going to talk about this for a moment. One thing Cleetose does a lot is he refuses to rush missions, for the most part. He doesn't like rushing things. He will, more often than not, leave himself in AI control until he's safely settled on a pad. Not only that, but he will sometimes go do something inconspicuous before he even starts doing a mission. Cleetose is very laid back at the beginning of his games. That's just a trend with Cleetose in general. Thus, his laid-backedness at the beginning of said game. Here he goes for another window flirt. And this would not have worked had the general not checked his watch. These window flirts are risky. Not because they're easy to notice. You don't really check for flirts at windows for the most part. But because quite often, unless you get on them fast, they don't go through. This one does, because the general decided he wanted to check his watch, so that was a little bit lucky there. And here, this is a very opportunistic swap. Green dress, I don't know what is going on with her, but she's just hanging out. And due to what the laser was doing, this could quite easily have been a green swap. I don't know what was going on with green dress there, I really don't, but that swap, I like a decent amount. And I believe... No, never mind, I think it's a different game. I'm confusing myself. This confuses me. Why would you go to the same statue? You already have this thing inspected, and there's someone at the neighboring statue here. Chances are you're not going to get this off. A green test probably would have, but you don't want to put yourself in that situation. Now he's going to need to go to the statue a third time, which isn't particularly suspicious, but it's not something you want to have to do because it takes up time. Statues are one of the most what's the word I'm looking for? Statues are one of the biggest time sinks in Spy Party. And as Cleetose says in the chat, if you listen to what happened, if you listen to the post-game chatter, it wasn't actually the statue that got him a shot. It was turning the wrong way. Yeah, Cleetose is just saying it in chat here. It wasn't actually going to statues that got him shot. It was turning the wrong way coming out of the statues. So that's just a shame. It's pathing stuff like that is always you kind of face palm when you get shot for it. Quite often you'll notice yourself pathing badly and you're going like, oh crap, what am I doing? I need to get somewhere inconspicuous because pathing. But yeah, that's just a shame. Next game is over here. I can't really think of anything else to talk about in that one, so we may as well move on. Here we are, more Courtyard 2. Again, these are versus drawn onward rather than Virifo. And here we go. Now, there's a little bit of connection oddness there, but I have to commend Cleetose for resisting the urge to banana bread here. You can see it. It's not a very good position to be banana bread in. Now that the conversation is starting to fill up a little bit more, it's a better position for it, but it's still probably a good thing he didn't. Now this was an attempted window flirt gone horribly wrong. At least I'm pretty sure it was. If I can get confirmation from Cleetose, that'd be amazing. But I think this was an intended flirt. And as I've been saying, these are dangerous because, yeah, Cleetose confirms. These are dangerous because seduction targets leave windows quickly. It's a thing they do. So he goes for the flirt, winds up watch checking. Now luckily it was a green test, and Drawn doesn't wind up noticing it. But
am I trying to watch out for?
Now here he goes for a second window flirt here. That one was okay. Still, he was kind of lucky the seduction target hung around for as long as he did. Now, Cleetose, one thing he's really good at is briefcasing. One thing I've noticed. That was a very opportunistic pickup on the briefcase there, which was beautiful because he just had to put it back down again and everything was fine. He successfully lowered suspicion without actually having to do anything. Now here he goes. He's going in a fairly nice position to bug, but as the laser swings around, I think he decides better of it. I think that's what was going through his head anyways. Here he goes for another flirt here. Doesn't hit the green test, but that's fine. He wouldn't have been able to get that done with the green test anyways. Now he's got 2 minutes left, sorry. And he hasn't got a single mission done, though to his credit, he does have 2 flirts done. So that's going alright. Now, that was actually pretty good bouncing. I got excited when I saw that. The bouncing was quite nice there. And then this happens. I'm going to show this again, just so you can be prepared for it. Here he is. Watch this. This is an incredibly sad-facing, inducing occurrence. Was that even words? Let me try that again. This is an incredibly sad face-inducing occurrence. The laser is on the right. So is the ambassador. Watch this.
Wow, that was sad. That's so.
Yeah. It's Spy Party. Things happen quite often. Well, maybe not quite often, but I'm sure it's happened to everybody. You go, you see something, you're like, I'm going to try to do that. And then you try to do it, you realize you just did the most suspicious thing in ever. It's a shame when it does, but quite often, as soon as you press the button to start doing it, you're like, oh crap, I shouldn't be doing this. But it's funny when it does. So Yeah. And now, this next game, I only really want to show because it has my biggest pet peeve in all of Spy Party occurs. Fairly close to the beginning here. I'm not exactly sure when, but you'll know it when it does. It makes me super unhappy. I think this is it here. Look at this. Look at this positioning and tell me what is wrong. Tell me what is wrong with this picture. What is happening here that I don't like? Look at the flirt. Here's what happens. Everything looks fine so far. Green test. Everything looks okay. Here's what I don't like about this. This is a 49% flirt. Why? Why do you do this? Why would it... How hard would it be to, like, stand an inch to the right? Why do you do this? I don't understand. Like, I even have the time code for the end of the game here. 19 minutes. Let me pull this up. There. 49%. Why? I don't understand why people do this. It makes me so sad. I've only got one more game. So I know now that I need to get more games when I start doing analyses. But live and learn, right? So, let me pull that up. Here we are.
A white swap against Scallion's,
Okay.
while he was laser
Once again,
burning.
what's nearby? Well, selection
yeah.
target was there, but he's alone in combo. That's a little bit dangerous. I probably would have gone for it, but Cleetose is one who... Cleetose is one who takes it easy at the beginning and lets his AI guide him until he's safely in conversation. Now,
Banana bread.
he goes for the banana bread,
Oops.
and this bug. This is beautiful. I love this. If you'll watch what happens here, this is a very risky banana bread, because right as he finishes talking,
Banana bread.
he goes for it. And then he immediately leaves while Drawn Onward is probably distracted by the banana bread a little bit, goes for the bug and gets it. Does get himself highlight, but still, it was absolutely beautiful. And winds up in nice flirt range on top of that. The bug was dangerous. So was the banana bread. Actually, the banana was a little bit risky. If he hit a white test, that would have been a double talk, and that can be a quick highlight, if not a shot. But I liked the banana bread. I really liked that bug. It was risky, but it was gorgeous. It was very well executed. Did get highlight for it, but that's fine. He got the bug done. That's one of the hard tells on this map. It's very nicely played. And on top of that, manages to pick himself up a green test on the flirt right afterwards. So he's got 2 minutes and 15 seconds left, and 2.5 missions done. That's amazing. And here, he steps in to the statues to get this done. And then if he hits a green test, all he needs is one more flirt, as long as he doesn't do this damn 49% thing I hate. This has been a very nicely played game so far. Here he comes around. Right back in that conversation. That is just unfortunate. There's really no other word for that. That's a shame. That's a thing that happens, but it's a shame. Now, this is where you want to take it easy for a little while before going back for that flirt. Go to 1, 2 other places. He decides not to, and I'm a little leery about this. But apparently he's not suspicious enough for Drawn to really notice that. Countdown is on. Countdown has ended. And that's that game. That's really just what I wanted to show from that one, was that beautiful textbook banana bread to bug to flirt combination. That was gorgeous. They've been going for 36 minutes and I'm out of games to analysis at. So I'm gonna go. So I don't know. I thought that went fairly well, if a bit short. So next time I try this, I will have more games ready and probably a bit more of a theme behind the games rather than just, hey, look at Cleetose playing Spy Party. Also, my chat's amazing, if you didn't know that already. Other than that, I suppose I'm done. It's been fun. I enjoy doing these analyses. Yeah, that's a word. So, I'll probably be doing them more often. So, guess I'm done. Till next time, this is Deboshi, signing off.